Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Joe Scarice, co-founder and co-host of the Creative Bird Strategy podcast and house here on Clubhouse. Let's get started here in the next few minutes. We'll get ourselves all set up here on Clubhouse. I'd like to thank everybody again. We had a really busy week. We'll have a lot to talk about this morning. A lot of going on the market. Rate plummets as the market buys the big shift. So we'll see how we'll discuss that a little bit this morning as well. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Let me just get ourselves set up and invite some people in and share the room as well. I want to thank our sponsors as always. I would like to thank Mr. Yardell Perkins of Perkatech. He provides our social media strategy, video work, graphics, etc. He is what I call the Oz behind the drape. Provides consistent social media tactics for his clients. Been a great referral partner and friend for the last 10 years, and really excited about where the podcast is going. We're making, we have shirts now, we have cups. We just did a step and a repeat that we're putting together. You'll see that background in our video work starting next week. Very excited about the podcast and where it's going, and some really great announcements and endeavors coming up over the next several months with Yardell as well. I'd like to thank Linda Pelagas from Realty 411, who is our national sales publication that complements what we do here at the Creative Bird Strategy podcast. She provides insight and strategy for real estate professionals throughout the country. She also provides events throughout the country. I know she has a big event today, I think, in California. I've been part of her events throughout the country and been a colleague of hers for the last several years. Great person to follow and be part of her registration and opportunities that she provides for her real estate professionals that tie into her magazine. I'd like to thank MB Capital, your unsecured business line of credit program that provides unsecured business lines for investors throughout the country, nationwide. And I'd like to thank Lenmark Capital, where I'm a senior loan analyst, where we provide DSCR for 1 unit up to 25-unit multifamily. We offer a fixed to rent, fixed to flip, 1 through 4, and then 5 to infinite amount on the multifamily space. We offer new construction, 1 through 4, build a spec or build to rent. And then we offer blanket loans and strategy advisory for investment and investors throughout the country, licensed in all 50 states. So we'll get started here, and we're going to start talking about what's going on in the market. So, well, going into this rabbit hole here, what we call the presidential election. Obviously, there's some fixing going on. Rates suddenly plummet with some really bad job reports and unemployment numbers that came in. It dropped over 22 basis points. The base rate closed on Friday at 6.40. You can't imagine what we're looking at on Monday. On Friday alone, I submitted over 12 loans and issued 5 term sheets in one day. My fingers were a frenzy. Okay, so I can't imagine what's going to happen going into the new year, into this next week. It's going to be a very busy week, a lot of inquiries. Can we get the better rates? I'll be very interested to see where we price next week as well. I know we buffered a lot of numbers, but guys, we got to think about this. The rates didn't just drop because of good things. That's not a really great sign. Job growth totals only 114,000 in July, much less than expected, as unemployment rates rise to 4.3%. If the rates do drop, and they say they're going to do another half-point drop in September, potentially, we are recognizing the fact that we are in a recession. Okay, that's not good. This political machine put us in a recession over the last 4 years. So you got to think about that when it comes time to November. Do we want? Can it get any worse? Okay, and from a capitalist perspective, because I look at one color, I look at green. I'm a little nervous about this. I mean, like, this is really steering. all these realtors, oh, the rates are dropping, people are going to start buying again. That's not going to be the case in September. A buyer's market is not September, October, November. You're not going to have this sudden surge of and people coming off the sideline to buy in the fall. It just doesn't work that way. So, home inventory has increased by 37%. I'm very concerned about that. Days on the market's increasing as well. This is not all some great signs. But again, we will shake this thing out. I'm seeing some reconfiguration in the asset-based lending space. I know of one of the funds that are out there that are in trouble, a lot of foreclosures, really bad investment tactics. They're cutting back on programs. So you're starting to see some contraction in the asset-based lending space. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a merger or an announcement of a shift on one of the funds that are out there. I'm waiting. I've been watching it over the last year. It might come to the fruition in this at the end of this year. Happy to say though, I'm double downing in this type of environment. Like I just joined another expo to be at in front of a lot of realtors in the winter time. I just signed up to be at Triple Play, which covers New Jersey, New York, PA. I'll be at the Maryland Border Realtor Expo, Delaware Border Realtor Expo, New York Real Estate Investor Expo in New York, Ohio RIA, and then we're also taking a space at NAR. I feel like the realtors that last and get through this are going to be on the front line of opportunity for some of the fallout of this mortgage rate shifting, for especially in the investor space. So let's keep jumping onto some articles here. Local real estate investors on the verge of outperforming builders. So you're starting to see the rehabbers exceed the building right now. The new construction cost is through the roof in building out homes. Home buying is at a low. So do the rates re-stimulate new construction buying? We'll see. I'm seeing a lot of my new construction developers leaning toward affordable housing and renting some of these properties and some of these units. I was at an event on Thursday morning in regards to how aggressive some of the affordable housing organizations, associations in these cities are going to go after buildings and start buying the buildings themselves to rent out to low income housing. It'll be interesting to see how new construction is impacted on that space. Obviously, we know that most malls or a lot of the major malls throughout the country are going to start bringing apartment units to their malls to complement the office retail space along with medical. So it'll be very interesting how this impacts new construction and where new construction goes. And I'm not surprised rehabbers are now far exceeding the builders because there's just so much money out there right now in regards to renovation money. You can get renovation money pretty much up to 90% on your acquisition, 100% on your renovation, 70% LTV. At 10 and a quarter, interest only, no prepayment, and you could ride this market out, stabilize the property, and then kind of look where the best rates are on 30-year fixed money and rent it out to a quality tenant. You can go Section 8 affordable housing, and if you're going urban city setting, that's going to be more your preferred tenant, more so than the market rent. I don't know anybody in the city of Philadelphia renting market rent right now. Like I know everybody's looking at Section 8 first, and then thinking about the market rent. So I don't think Philadelphia is any different than any other city throughout the country. So you got to kind of look at what is more guaranteed in your bank account. And right now, the landlord's looking at the Section 8 piece. So this article was really interesting. I posted that this past week. And by the way, any of these articles that I'm discussing, I have posted something relevant to it on my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, Alignable, Threads. So, you can find these articles that I'm posting every single day. I'm here to provide a consistent theme of education. So a lot of this stuff is just a review of what we're discussing by the time we get to Saturdays and Sundays. My next article that caught my eye, Share of active homes for sale hits post-pandemic high. There's no surprise here. Okay, listen. The realtors could live with a glass half full. I live in reality. Okay, I really feel a lot of realtors look at the shiny object and they got to stay very positive. I appreciate that, but let's be in reality. Days on the market are increasing. Resetting pricing is happening. Now, is it happening everywhere? No, but it's happening in most markets throughout the country. Most markets are leveling or going into more of a stagnant environment. I just don't think rates are going to make a major shift and bring people off the sidelines in buying. I think it's going to bring investors off the sidelines in the fall market. Your fall market is typically and traditionally has always been limited, but two, it's always been an investor play. Okay, so like if I was a realtor listing a property that needed some work, I'd be pushing, hey, this is not just for a great first time home buyer, but this is also great for a first time investor to throw some tender love and care and then re-rent this out to somebody that might want to buy it from you in the next couple of years. That might be a selling point. I mean, I did look at a couple properties myself personally yesterday. Had a good laugh in 90-degree weather. They're still not priced correctly. They're priced way off, way off. I looked at two family houses. I couldn't believe what I was looking at based on what they were asking for. The rents wouldn't even match up, even if I did stabilize the properties. They were oddball. They've been sitting on the market for quite a while. It's very interesting circumstances. So some great articles there. So let's dive into leveling up your real estate game, marketing, sales, and scale. All right. So let's tie into an article that I put together this past week on LinkedIn. You could find it on my profile. To level up in real estate marketing and sales strategies, especially if you're focusing on midterm rentals, consider the following approaches. Number one, digital presence, website optimization. Ensure your website is user friendly, mobile responsive, and optimized for search engine or SEO. Highlight key features of your properties, providing virtual tours and using high quality photos. So, like with our podcast, we're very, like our link is up here. I have my own personal website. Both were designed by Yardell, which was great at Percatech. We were always tinkering with them and putting different things together. I think a website is a necessary evil. I think you really need to consider that if you're going to be a real estate professional. I wouldn't depend, if you're a realtor, I wouldn't depend on your personal company to maintain your website. I would always maintain my website independently because, again, at the end of the day, you might not be there down the road. Social media marketing. Utilize platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to showcase your properties. Engage with potential renters. Share success stories, client testimonials, and behind-the-scenes content to build trust and authenticity. So, like every morning, I put a motivational or inspirational quote out, and it's amazing the heartfelt reaction by people every single day. It goes out every day at 7 to 7:30. People love it. They make comments. I give feedback, and it's just a relationship building type of environment. I love leveraging LinkedIn more so than Facebook, even though I have 3 Facebook accounts. They're maxed out. People now just follow me because I changed them into business profiles, and that's good. That's great. But I really love leveraging LinkedIn. I really love posting articles. I love giving my insight. I always post 2 articles a week. I'm always posting 2 videos a week. I'm always responding to article inquiries that I want to give my opinion on. So I'm constantly feeding that garden as well. So content marketing, blogging, creating information blog posts about the benefits of rentals, market trends, tips, using keywords to improve SEO and driving organic traffic to your website or your squeeze page. Video content. We offer video work through the podcast. So if you need to be interviewed to get some video exposure, let me know. Let's do an interview. Give me 8 to 10 questions. Let's get into an intense conversation about who you are and what your why is. Even if it's 30 minutes, people get to see you, see your engagement, your passion about what you do. Networking and partnerships. I'm number 3. Big fan of real estate events. I love attending and sponsoring local real estate events or regional events, seminars, webinars. I just got asked to speak at a 2 realtor associations down in Florida. I want to thank Elizabeth down there in the crowd there in the audience. I'll be speaking in October, teaching real estate agents on asset-based lending fundamentals. You can't get better engagement than having 50 people looking at you, talking to you about what you love doing. Okay? It's not a beat the chest type of environment. It's about providing insight and education, collaboration with influencers, providing real content, strategic partnerships in this networking piece. You want to leverage and work with strategic partnerships. Not everybody is a strategic partner. Number 4, customer service, personalization, feedback and improvement. If somebody calls you, call them back. Take that phone call. Give them a text. Let them know I'm going to call you back in 15 minutes. Maybe it's because I came from a hospitality background. I feel like I got to talk to every single person and make sure that I get back to them good, bad, or indifferent. I give news, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, right away. You pull the Band-Aid off. Give good communication. To me, a lot of people, I see all these big discussions on the NAR lawsuit settlement. All it tells me as a real estate professional, you need to be a better communicator. You need to be able to talk better and discuss things more transparent with your clients. Transparency and communication. Oh boy, you actually have to be transparent and have great communication skills to do your job. You're a real estate salesperson. You are in sales. I'm in sales. You need to be able to be personalized and passionate and consistent with information. There's nothing wrong with transparency and great communication skills. I'm missing the point to why everybody's upset about this NAR lawsuit settlement for real estate agents. All it's going to do is going to be for the betterment of better realtors providing better service to their clients. That's all I see it as. I could be wrong, but I think it's a good thing. It's going to weed out the individuals that can't provide good communication skills and be transparent with their clients. The number 5, technology and innovation, CRM systems. Yardell and I are always looking at our CRM system. Is it working? Are we posting correctly in the right places? Where should I spend money on marketing? Should I get a virtual or augmented environment like a VA? Okay. I'm working on something on my Google business because I'm having a struggle with my Google business. We're waiting on a couple things, but I'm going to spend $500 to $1,000 this last quarter just on Google business. No problem. I'm not even questioning it. It's just going to get done. Okay, and then I'm going to invest some money in Instagram marketing over the next week. I'm going to invest in some money into Facebook marketing in the next week, LinkedIn marketing in the next week, because we're rolling out a mastermind second Monday in the month. We're waiting on Yardell to complete the marketing flyer so we can push that out, and then we started investing some dollars into that to push people in. I'm also collaborating with other groups in that mastermind so that the attendance is going to be better initially, right off the bat. It's going to be on video, so it's going to be live and it's going to be on Zoom. So we're bringing the modern technology to the front room so people could see it and be part of it, even if they're not in Philadelphia. So a lot of this stuff is, you see how it all kind of clicks? You're like saying, well, how does that get me customers? That gets me in front of bodies, valued bodies that get it, that understand the relevancy to what you're trying to accomplish. And if they don't get it, you better imprint it in their brain cells of who you are and what you do and what your why is. And then you need to be a better professional in market research and analysis, competitive analysis, market trends. You need to know that the market dropped today on Friday. You should have been aware about that. You should have posted it out to your public people and giving some pros and cons versus on that. I put out a post about it, on my Facebook. Everybody was making comments. I was giving my opinion back, and you know what opinions are like. But I was being part of the discussion. I was being part of the discussion. But make sure you follow regulations and guidelines about what you're putting out. Be careful. Get professional guidance if you don't feel comfortable posting something. You want to try to get the right words. There's different ways of implementing these strategies, but you can enhance your marketing and sales efforts, attracting more clients and achieving greater success in the real estate market. You got to be consistent. You can't market for 1 week and then disappear for a month. It's every single day. A lot of you might not be from Jersey, but there's Jersey diners, right? There's diners that are open 24 hours. Your social media platform is open 24 hours. It's on all day, every day. It's an all day, 24-hour garden that you need to feed soil, different types of nutrients, manure. You got to feed it. You got to keep feeding it, okay? Because you got to build that garden out. Because what does a garden bear? Fruits and vegetables. What do you need to bear? Sales and opportunities, relationships, a bigger bullpen, a bigger power team. Melissa, good morning and welcome. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and thoughts or discussion. Level up your real estate game, marketing, sales, and scale.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Clubhouse. Thank you for having me up today. My name is Melissa King, owner-operator at One Last Die LLC Virtual Assistant Services. I offer realty, bookkeeping, notary, and office management services to small businesses and entrepreneurs. And yes, that does include some marketing. I do that it's not a real moneymaker for me right now, but it is fun. So I'm still doing it myself. And one of the things I did want to mention in this discussion was you mentioned the Google ads you were going to do. I was at one of my networking meetings. It's a breakfast meeting that I go to every Friday before my regular meeting of the Rental Property Owners Association here in Kent County. So I do 2 meetings on Friday morning. People, that is marketing. You're getting out. And you can't stress it enough. They mentioned the Google profile. The only thing that I don't have, I got all the way through it. I'm like, why am I not doing Google reviews? I have to verify. Well, as a remote assistant, I work out of my home. So I have to figure out what they want in this video. And then I will upload that and complete my Google profile. So I would recommend that people complete that Google profile. LinkedIn, I can't stress enough, get that profile up and running. I do 2 posts a week, and I'm amazed at the analytical information I get regarding, how many impressions I've made, Joe, just from 2 posts a week. It's amazing. The last thing I wanted to mention, and I actually am going to a 3-day class in Mobile, Alabama. Going to take some kind with Invest Success, and they moved their mentorship program to a 3-day. They also offered me a sponsorship, and I'm going to get out in front of people, and I'm doing the bookkeeping portion of that class. So there's all kinds of different things that you can do. You do have to spend money to make money. I wanted to also mention that and engage professionally. You can't do everything online. So looking forward to more business. I just did my own video trying to promote myself that way, get out of the basement, as I like to say. And which is funny because I'm sitting in my temporary rental right now in the basement, Joe. I'm not at the campground this weekend. I hope my little tidbits helped you. Oh, I got a little note here. Property management for your real estate. Last thing I'm going to mention. Property management companies for your rentals, your investments. Their portals have all kinds of marketing. They will be more than happy to help you with that. So there's so many different ways for you guys to market. You just got to get out and do it, really. Right, Joe? I think that's it.
A lot of this is all common sense.
Yep.
It's not like I feel like this should be just natural. But not everybody feels comfortable being extroverted. I see a lot of people battling at events themselves with themselves. It's not easy for a lot of people, Melissa. It's a very difficult encounter for a lot of people. I'll give you an example. I was in Maryland this past week, and a young lady walked in. I said, "Hey, good evening. How are you? Are you here for the event?" And she literally walked by and didn't say anything. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then she comes up. She goes, "Are you part of the real estate event?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh, I want to apologize that I didn't say hello back. I feel like men are always trying to hit on me at events." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's why I said good afternoon. Are you here part of the real estate event?" I was okay, whatever, that's fine. But again, I think women have a harder time at networking in events where it's still a man's room sometimes, and feel like the men are making them feel comfortable. I don't really try to. I mean, I don't think I've done that. If I have, I apologize. But I think it's tougher for women than men for the networking piece, and I think more women strive toward more women empowered events, or a more mixed room. When it comes to real estate, it's tough. I'm not a woman, so I don't understand, but I understand the uncomfortable level of going into a room if your anxiety is high. You know what I mean?
My inspiration a year and a half ago on this clubhouse was Prof T. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I remember what she said. It's a man's game, ladies. So you got to level up your game.
Well, Teresa's a unique bird. Okay, I know Teresa.
That's okay.
I know Teresa personally. I've hung out with her. She is a absolute go getter. She's always doing something new. I got to give. Now she's singing. Now she plays the guitar and sings. She is just. I mean, it's amazing. Like what one thing or another, she's always doing something. God bless that woman. Great energy. I don't know if you know how I met her. I was at an event, and it was post stroke. It was after my stroke, and it was a cigar networking event. So I'm up at a beautiful place. It's called Ashton's in Philadelphia, and I'm cutting a cigar for the first time, I think, post stroke, and just enjoy. Yeah, well, I do smoke one cigar a month. So what's that?
That's all right. Everything in moderation.
Exactly. I don't smoke every day. I smoke once a month on the cigar side, and I ordered some peanuts because nothing comes free in this high end cigar place. Some guy starts eating my peanuts. I'm like, "Hey, bro, are you gonna pay for my peanuts?" And because Teresa's right next to me with her husband, and he's like, "Oh, they're not part of." I'm like, "Listen, you see on the menu it says peanuts," and she started laughing, and we start talking, and we've been friends since. I mean, we're talking like 5-6 years ago. And she felt
your peanuts.
Yeah, she always go, "I'm never gonna steal your peanuts. Never, never, never." I'm like, okay. But it was just an engaging discussion. We've referred or introduced, different people to one another. Her husband's in real estate as well. And, listen, it's not all about just getting that great deal to close. It's about building relations. It's the long-term game. You got to identify a profitable target audience. So I've been coaching on and off over the last 5 years, but my coach that I go to now, he made a comment to me that always sticks with me: is you fish in lakes that have fish. You don't keep going back to the same lake that doesn't have fish. So I'm not a fan of being designated to one real estate investor meeting or another. I like floating around. I like the flexibility. I like sponsoring various events and spreading my money out in different spots to identify new people, to meet new people. So identifying a profitable target audience is very important. Gathering intelligence on your competition, because I really feel your competition is your mirror. But I think understanding what they're doing from a marketing strategy perspective, I think is important. Okay. Where are they going to network and why? Okay. So I went to an event on, I think it was Wednesday, this past week. Everything's kind of merged with me, but it was hot as hell. But it was an outdoor happy hour, and a couple of the guys and gals that were from another fund, or I guess they're really broker banker. They're not really a direct lender like myself, but I was bullshitting with them, and I'm like, "Listen, guys, I'm starting a mastermind event. I know you've come to my events before. But if you come to my mastermind event, you can't come. It's not that I care that we were in relevant industries, but it's my event, my money, my food, my wine, my way. And they were like, okay, cool. I just want to let you know it's the second Monday of the month. If you come in, you're going to be kindly asked to leave. Okay, that's more of an exclusive event that I'm holding, and I'm going to keep that very tight, because it's my investment, not theirs. They're not going to just come and be a hanger on. So, you know, I don't care about sponsoring an event and then there's a hanger on in the room because they don't really shine in that type of environment. They just look like they're kind of like jumping on my parade, and that's fine. But gathering intelligence on what they're doing is important. A lot of people like to tell you where they're at. I'm networking here, I'm networking there. I always evaluate. I have probably 3 or 4 events every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that I can go to. And then I whittle it down to the one that I want to go to. Hey, have I been there before? What was my results? Did I get any leads out of it? Did I get my return on my time? Did I build any relationships? Uncover your brand's differentiator. You want to understand, uncover your brand differently. So whenever I walk into an event, hey, you're Joe Scarice. You have a podcast. You're on Facebook. You're on LinkedIn. Oh, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, you're everywhere. I said, well, I'm right here, right now. They're like, hey, where's your office? It's in my shoes. So I kind of like make people feel comfortable, like, oh my god, like I'm over everywhere. So I don't post. Me personally, I don't post where I'm going because I don't want people to think I'm too busy not to identify with them and be part of their power team. So I don't post everywhere where I go. It's just something I don't do because I don't want to look too busy where people feel uncomfortable to call me. Hey, I'm calling you. I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time. I really want them to feel comfortable when they call me. I want to clarify my marketing message. And that's what you want to do. You want to clarify what your call to action is. My call to action on here on this podcast is education, networking, and strategy. And anybody's more than welcome to come up and raise their hand and be part of this. Okay? And then choose the right marketing channels. What channels work for you? Are the best results that are going to provide you the most return of your time and money? Track your real estate marketing metrics as well. So, like when Yardell and I start doing some of these marketing campaigns and me spending some money into it, we're not going to do them all at the same time. I won't be able to identify where the return is coming from. So I'm going to invest into some Instagram and some Facebook, and I'll do that for a month or two. Then I'll do LinkedIn, and I'll do that for a month or two. Then I'll do something else for a month or two. Like I'm going to spread that out to make sure there's balance. And adapt your real estate marketing plan. Okay, constantly tinker with it. There's no goal set planning at the beginning of the year. You're goal setting every week. Every single week, you're goal setting. What are your goals this week? What do you want to accomplish this week, knowing that the rates dropped going 22 basis points? What can you do differently to get people to call you? How can you create that inbound traffic to impact your bottom line? Who can you respond to better? What can you do differently on your voicemail? What can you do differently on your profile tag? What kind of articles can you put out? Justin, good morning. Welcome. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and thoughts to discussion this morning. Level up your real estate game, marketing, sales, and scale.
Yeah, good morning, Joe. Good morning, everybody. Justin Dickerson. Listening in this morning, Joe. I think you had some really good points. I think I'll just start by kind of talking about a bunch of different things to market. If you're a bit more introverted, there are a lot of ways that you can still participate and still create a solid system of consistency with your marketing. I think one of the things that kind of caught my ear when you guys were talking earlier is, describing somebody with a pretty good attitude. I think you used a different word, but it sounds like they had a high spirit They had a good attitude, and it just kind of describing that person. It took me back to some of the folks that I remember in high school, college, right? And just simplify our socializing. And if we, I've always been somebody that heavily analyzed social skills, or not social skills, behaviors of people. So I guess looking at it from a different lens, but I absolutely see how going into a room, right, and having, or call it your vibe, right, but having your aura in the right place, right. So if you step into a investor, don't go in there with a stiff neck. Don't go in there unprepared. All of these things have to do with marketing itself. And if you open to a room and you're looking to meet people, you can connect with people, be open, right? They may not say the right thing to you the first time. Don't become defensive. These are just things that I think a lot of folk like. Sometimes I think people come into this room with a certain level of expectation, and when they're not met, especially if they're newer, they might get frustrated. So, I think just keeping the right mindset and keeping the right attitude when you're going and meet people, because you can give somebody some information, but if they do not connect and say, "Man, I like this guy's attitude. Man, I like this guy's willingness. Man, I like this guy's right." The amount of data that he's able to ramble out in response to the questions that I have, right? The information and put it in order. And without getting all the details, he still has the answer. Different things you want to bring out about your characteristic. Bring the characteristics you want to bring out about yourself and somewhat be a little bit bold about them, because meeting somebody for the first time, the opportunity to tell them, right, to describe to them, in 30 seconds of action. Maya Angelou, you both have heard this book, right? But people rarely remember what you say to them or what you do to them. They almost certainly remember how you make them feel. So these are the things that we want to kind of lean in on, especially as, even I have a lot of introvertish moments, right? With my turbulence and the hills and lack of confidence and building back confidence, right? Because I didn't know when I put the certain thing I'm supposed to keep confidence, right? And so all of these things are going on in your brain if you're nervous, right? So that's kind of what I'm speaking to the person that's a little bit to these things, or a little bit nervous for whatever reason. Stay on the forefront. You have wonderful things about your personality. Wear them out on your sleeve, right? And don't be too sensitive to the responses that you get from people. And always be open and presenting yourself as valuable to whatever it is you're looking for, and whatever they may be looking for as well. So I just want to throw a bunch of little tidbits in there, Joe. Think about Joe. Gave me a bunch to think about this morning.
Well, you touched on something, Justin, and thank you. That I think all of us are battling our high school years and our grammar school years as adults. I think we're all battling that in our personalities. Like, a lot of us don't like to go back to our reunions. I know a lot of people that will never go back to their reunions. Why? They don't want to go backwards. They want to go forward. You want to fall forward. You don't want to fall backwards. And I understand that. But I think we're always battling something that happened to us, whether during grammar school or high school, in our professional landscape. Like, if you go to networking events, it's cliquish. People that know each other, they hove together like little wolves. Okay, and that's okay. I don't mind walking right in. Hey, everybody, how are you? I'm Joe. Nice to meet you. I'm a direct private lender in the asset-based lending space. I've been in the lending. I lend only to investors. How are you? What do you do? What's your name? And they look at you like how dare you? And I'm like, how dare me? How dare you? I paid to be here. I put gas in my tank to get here. I'm part of this membership. I'm going to introduce myself to every single person in this room. I'm not here to date anybody. I'm not here to buy anybody a drink. I'm here to be part of a professional circle to enhance my circle, to enhance my sales, to enhance my marketing, to identify somebody that I can collaborate with. Some people are just naturally uncomfortable. A lot of people, I don't know, for whatever reason, because of my social media presence, they think I'm something else than I'm not. I'm just a regular person and wake up every morning, do what I got to do to do well. Hopefully, at it every day. You need to embrace failure and mistakes. It's given that you're going to make mistakes. It's about the successes from those failures and mistakes. Is how you're going to better yourself. Accept that you can't control everything, and stop worrying and live in the present. And take time off, take a break. Like after this podcast, I'm going to the gym for an hour and busting out a real great sweat, working out every day. Kind of doesn't always say that I'm going to have the perfect figure, but I'm going to feel healthy. I'm going to feel the clarity. I'm going to get some of the stresses out and hit that day running. I got some video work I got to do today for some upcoming events that Yordell and I are sponsoring at our office and at my wife's wellness center at the end of August and the beginning of September. So we have to do some video work with the production company. So I'm getting pumped up for that. Okay, and be open to constructive criticism. Comparison is a killjoy, and be proud of your work. You got to be proud of your work. Whatever you're doing, be proud of it and own up to it. And if it's something you don't feel comfortable with, you need to figure out something else. You got to pivot. You got to make a plan. You got to know your market. You got to be honest. You got to develop a niche. And the niche also ties into the 30-second elevator pitch. You got to be able to describe who you are, what you do, and what your why is in an elevator pitch. Encourage referrals. Stay educated. Understand the risks. Invest into your power team. A good accountant, a good lawyer, a good realtor. Find help. You can put questions out on the open market on Facebook, and you'll get answers from every self-proclaimed legend in their own mind. Build a network. Mr. Ed Dowling, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to the discussion this morning. Level up your real estate game, marketing, sales, and scale.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ed Dowling. I'm a licensed referral partner with Remax. Joe, I just wanted to touch on this NAR settlement. And something I saw this week was an agent put in the agreement, a sale, that they wanted 3%, not the 2% that the seller was offering.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that's going against the code of ethics because you're putting your interest in front of your buyer's interest. Your fiduciary duty is to your buyer. So if you're putting a stipulation in that this agreement is contingent upon this buyer's agent getting 3%, how's that not putting yourself in front of your buyer?
Well, I'm not going to touch on the NAR settlement in this discussion. I'm not going to dive into that too deep. All I'm saying is that with the NAR lawsuit, I think it's bringing.
Sorry, Joe.
Hello?
I'm sorry, I had a phone call. I'm sorry.
Okay, there's an echo because you have my video on too. You got to mute for a minute. You there? You're there, Ed? Ed?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I'm not going to touch on the NAR lawsuit and what realtors are doing now. All I'm saying right now is that transparency is key and being a better communicator. And if it's not ethical, that's a whole different discussion. I'm saying, listen, if you're going to scale your business, you got to have integrity as part of it. You need to be integrous. You need to have very, very good intuition that if something's not right, walk away from it. One thing I've done in the last 5 years that I didn't do the previous 15 or 18 years of 19 years of my career is I'll fire somebody. If I don't feel comfortable with somebody, I'm like, listen, I don't think we should work together. I've had many clients reach back out to me after I've worked with them or tried to work with them, I'm like, hey, listen, you know what? I don't think we're a good match. Maybe you should find somebody else to work with. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. I feel
you fired one of my referrals.
Yeah, I did, because they were wasting time. They were dead weight, and they were wasting processing time and dollars. So I outlined that to them, Ed, and said, listen, you're putting a lot of time on my processing department, and nothing's coming to fruition. I don't think we're a good match. I think you should go work with somebody else. And they're like, really? I'm like, absolutely. And I say it as sincere as possible. When you're trying to be honest and transparent, sincerity is key in our space. But I don't think people are comfortable giving people honest, integrous answers. I think that there's a big problem there. People are not taught that in school. They're not taught personal development, and I don't think people are comfortable being honest and telling the truth. It hurts for whatever reason. And believe me, 2 weeks from now, whatever you tell somebody, they're not even going to remember it. They're just going to remember that, okay, we're not working together anymore. And that's okay. I've apologized to a lot of people, Ed, in the last 5 years that I hadn't seen them since before my stroke. And I apologize. Hey, listen, if I was out of sorts in any way, I want to apologize, and I'd like to reset our relationship if we can, so we can work together and do well together and scale our business together. Like, I was at an event about a week and a half ago. It was a Saturday event. I ran into this gentleman. I'm like, hey, listen, I don't know why we're all a little standoffish with one another. Maybe I missed something, but I don't remember anything past before 5 years ago. Is there something that created your comfortability with me? And he's like, no, not really. I just didn't think you wanted to work with me. I'm like, why would I want to work with you? You're always at other events that I'm at. What's the problem? Why can't we coordinate together? He's like, oh, we should. So now we set up a coffee, and we're gonna game plan, leverage the mastermind that I'm doing, some video work. It kind of like, I had an open, honest conversation, and people want that. They want to feel comfortable with people. Okay, and having longer discussions with your clients to get to the starting line, I think is going to be better for you. In a market that's tumultuous. Okay, people want to work with planners. They want to work with people that do their homework. They want to work with people that they trust. They want to know that you have niches. Like, what are you bringing to the table that nobody else is bringing to the table? Is it communication? Is it follow through? Is it responsiveness? There's also you generate respect by a consistent marketing plan and staying up to date. Putting information out that's right off the presses is quite impressive. And not bragging about yourself, just kind of being comfortable in your skin. Sometimes just sitting back and watch in the room, evaluate. I always like to get to my events that I go to a half hour early. So, like, my wife and I went to a happy hour. We're there at 5. I'm there at 5 o'clock. The event starts at 5:30. The people that host the event didn't get there till 5:40. And the events on the schedule started at 5:30. It was already in disorder right off the bat. Is that a good marketing plan? Was that a good networking event? I don't know. I wouldn't run something like that.
Joe, I just have one more question for you before I go.
Go ahead.
Are you still implementing that marketing strategy of sending out recipe cards to your sphere of influence?
No, Ed.
You're not doing that no more?
No. Putting food out. Listen, I only cook big meals maybe twice a year, 4 times a year. People get to see my crab gravy. They get to see my jambot, and that's good enough for them.
We can help you out with the postage, but that's the problem.
Ed, we need to watch our weight, so we shouldn't be influence people with food. So thank you, Ed. Thank you for coming by. Ed is a friend and foe all at the same time. Can't have a better friend. Friend Ed, thank you for coming by. Thank you for being part of the podcast this morning. So let's get back to leveling up your real estate game in marketing and sales and scale. What is your mindset, right? What your mindset is half the battle, 90% of the battle. The right mindset for real estate investing success or being a real estate professional is going to be so important going into this market in the fall. Be professional and take your real estate business seriously. Have a long-term and a short-term vision for success. Embrace failures and mistakes. Again, be proud of your business. Deborah, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to the discussion this morning. Level up your real estate game, marketing, sales, and scale.
Good morning, Joe. Deborah Adamy from Las Vegas, Nevada. Guys out in the backyard. So to level up my game, I am doubling down on my postcards that I send to my clients. And what else? I am, like today I'm doing an open house, and Joanne, like you, I get there super early. It's supposed to start at 10. I'm going to be over there at 8, just setting up and preparing. What else? I'm also doubling down on my video. I'm going to try and do at least one a week. And social media is a big thing for me. I'm trying to do it every day. So I do have a VA that does help me. I also I didn't publish the books, but I got a company that does put my name, I think it's called Ghostwriters. So I do have books that I can hand out to people for selling, tips on selling and tips on buying. So I thought that was a really good idea. They can get my free book online. It has my picture on it, and so yeah, that's what I'm doing, Joe. And yesterday I passed out flyers. I walked around the neighborhood and met the neighbors and talked to them about my open house, and yeah, had a good day. And I don't push, hey, are you selling? I just started a conversation, and we didn't talk anything, too much about real estate. I'm just meeting the neighbors and talking to them, and getting to know them. I'd rather not push. But I do think what your friend said earlier about the commission, it is going to be a difficult scenario. I mean, here on one hand, somebody's offering 0 or 1 apple. Of course, this is how we make our living. So we do want to make more apples. So it's going to be so whose interest do you put first? Yeah, it's going to be a tough road, Joe. But I think the sellers have to. I don't think too much has changed. In fact, I told my seller that not too much has changed. The sellers are still contributing towards the buyer's, commission, and that's it. So I hope it, doesn't change too much. But thanks, Joe.
My pleasure.
Get off.
No problem, Deborah. Well, thank you. I mean, listen, what I'm going to take from that is, again, better communication skills, better transparency with your clients is going to be important. You got to devote more time and effort to understand what this whole lawsuit is going to impact your bottom line and your marketing strategy going forward, and devote more time and effort to understanding your market as well. Okay, being a guru of your market is going to be very important. You got to burrow that hole. Okay, I have a much different market because I'm nationwide, but I focus east of the Mississippi. I do loans west of the Mississippi, but I don't go out there and market to that area. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would you call me in Philadelphia for a property in California? I can do it. I have done them, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Understand your risk and develop financial discipline. Okay, don't overexceed in marketing if it doesn't make sense. Start off slow. Like we're going to set up these marketing plans in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're not spending $1,000 a month. We're spending $100 a month, and see where it goes. Right now, we're investing in a lot of the other things that we need. We're doing videos twice a week. I'm doing article posting twice a week. I'm posting 3 interested articles and inspiration quotes every day. I gotta handle feedback and inbound inquiries. Touching 5 people and doing a check-in a day helps. Do a video with 5 tips of the trade every day. Try it out for a week. First thing in the morning, you get to go to the gym, you get back, you shower, get yourself together. Do a video and give 5 tips of the trade. Any tips of the trade on a subject. Put it together, put it on paper, and read it off on a video, and then post it. What is the harm in giving some tips of the trade? Nothing. It's 3 minutes you can't take back, but you don't know what happens falling forward. Find, understand, and develop your niche. Build a great reputation. Be consistent. Be continuous. If anybody has one thing to say about me, I'm out there networking day in and day out. My goal every week is to meet 25 to 30 people a day. If I'm not touching 25 to 30 people a day personally, I feel like I'm not impacting enough. I'm always looking to meet and greet people, whether it's 10 to 15 or I like that room anywhere from 10 people to 100 people, because I know I'll be able to meet as many of those people in the room. If I'm speaking or I'm sponsoring, I'm going to get to meet everybody. And if you're gonna sponsor someone else's event, you want the people that attended that event state. You want that database. You're not going to sponsor unless you get their email, phone number, and full name, because you got to do the follow up and the follow through. Leveraging technology and automation and building your network are very key. Continuous evaluation, and find what helps. Find the needs there. Look at the needs of what is going to impact your clients, their current clients, and hopefully future clients that are going to acquire to work with you. People that call you independently and say, hey, I saw your information, I want to work with you, I have some questions. Those are the best kinds of inquiries, because they reviewed your background, whether on social media or your actions somewhere, and they felt compelled to call you. They feel like you're a professional in their field. I can't emphasize enough of what we offer here at the Creative Birth Strategy House and Podcast. We offer video work to be interviewed for your business. I've extended it multiple times. I don't force anybody into it, but I think it's important that you need to consider marketing yourself. And if you're having a struggle, let's put a video together. Put 8 to 10 questions together. Let's set up some time on a Zoom call. We'll put it into a video interview, so you can leverage that and post that out and get yourself in front of more people. That's going to be important. People need to hear your voice, see the comfort and the confidence that you have in your profession. That's how you're going to scale. That's how you're going to be a better listener, a better advisor, a better strategist, somebody that people feel comfortable with. Allow me to sponsor an event for you, for investors. You want to get in front of some more investors? Let's have a happy hour. Let's have an educational discussion. Let's have a mastermind in your market. Bring 10, 15, 20 people in the room, 30 people in the room. Let's buy them some wings and salad and some light beverage and have a conversation. See how they can relate to you and build business together. That's how you scale. That's how you market yourself. That's how you become the network. Consistency and continuity. Melissa, any final thoughts to our discussion this morning? Level up your real estate game, marketing, sales, and scale.
Yeah, actually, I made a couple more notes. Be a little note taker. If people are struggling, don't have a lot of money, use the free Chat GPT to create a marketing plan, rework it to fit your niche, what you want to do, what you want to put out there. You can also use the free Chat GPT to do video scripts. I've done it myself. Yeah. So that's my little tidbit today. Thanks.
Melissa, stay on mic. I don't understand why people don't reach out and just, hey, listen, let's have a 10-minute or 15-minute strategy discussion. Right?
I've already got that down on my notes to do. I need to put that in my goals, right, Joe?
Well, I think one of your goals is having you present at the Western Michigan Realtor Association. But hey, I'm still waiting for that invite to do a discussion on asset-based lending for your association.
Okay, they are doing in April next year. They lost the February. I didn't really like the February to begin with, and I think they got booted to April. So let me reach out to them. I know that they were asking for speakers, so let's get that started. I'll see where it goes.
Well,
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Melissa. And ladies and gentlemen, listen, if you want to have a networking marketing discussion and mastermind, my call to action to you is let's sit down, let's get a call, let's have a Zoom meeting, whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you want to just talk on the phone, let's discuss how we can work together, how we can build together, how we can level up the real estate game, your marketing, sales, and scale. I'm strictly in the investor lending space, but a lot of people are leaning more toward the investment space anyway. So if you feel uncomfortable with that, that's another breakthrough you're going to have. But there's opportunities, working with an investor or lender because everybody watches Flip That House and HGTV, and everybody is inspired to be investors. So, if you want to have that investor mindset, I'm more than happy to sit down with any one of you to have that discussion to help build out your business. Now, please keep in mind I have some great events I'm involved with, bigger events. I'll be at the Maryland Association of Realtor Expo in September, the Delaware Association of Realtor Expo in October, New York Real Estate Investor Expo in October. I'll be at the Ohio RIA in November. I will be at NAR, National Association of Realtor Expo in Boston, Massachusetts in November. And in December, I'll be at Triple Play. I'm also traveling to Florida for a couple CE courses I'm going to be providing to some associations. If anybody needs a CE course on asset-based lending for their real estate office or their realtor association or investor association, please let me know and I can schedule that accordingly with my schedule. So, guys, thank you very much for the discussion this morning here on the Creative Birth Strategy House and podcast. I want to thank our sponsors, Mr. Yordell Perkins of Perkatech, Linda Pelagas of Realty 411, Eric Moz of MB Capital, and as well as Lenmark Capital, myself as Senior Loan Analyst Joseph Scarice. We're here every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing education, networking, and strategy. We have our website, which is creativebirthstrategies.com. We also provide worksheets for education for you to pencil your deals down better and be smarter as a real estate professional and investor. And my quote this morning, just to finish off the day, to all the doors that closed on me, I'm coming back to buy the building. Have a great Saturday morning. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., and I'll be ending the room in the next 30 seconds.